Boldr is probably the first micro brand company that I became aware of when I started my watch collecting journey, and they make a wide variety and range of watches from different styles and different sizes, but everything that I've seen that they make seems to be good quality for the money that you spend. The watch that we have in today is one of their bigger watches. This is a 500-meter diver. It's called the Boldr Odyssey 45, and it's one of the latest versions of this watch. We're going to do a full review of this piece in today's video, so I hope you enjoy. Alright, well here it is, the big boy, the Boldr Odyssey 45, and let's jump right into the specs and features on this watch. The movement is a Miyota 9015, and we'll talk a little bit more about the specs on that movement in a second. The crystal is a sapphire crystal with AR coating. Case material is stainless steel. Case diameter, as I measured it, 45.6 millimeters. Case thickness came in to be 16 millimeters. Lug to lug came in to be 53 millimeters. Lug width was 22 millimeters. Band material here on this one is stainless steel, and the water resistance is 500 meters. I weighed this watch in at 227 grams. That is with the links taken out of the bracelet, so if you have all the links, it's obviously going to be a little bit heavier than that. And the MSRP price on this is $649 from Boldr's website. So they're using a Miyota 9015 in this watch. It's a movement that is well known in the watch world. A lot of micro brands use it. It is a higher beat movement. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It's a 24 joule movement and has a power reserve of about 42 hours. There is hacking and hand winding on that Miyota 9015. So what are my initial thoughts about this piece? Well, it is a big boy, and it's not for the faint of wrist. It's a solid piece, and it really feels like it's a tank, and kind of almost looks like a tank if you think about it, but it is a solid piece. Despite though its large size and the heft to it, it really hugs the wrist nicely, and it's overall a really cool design, a unique looking diver that is uniquely Boldr. The case here is chunky, it's large, it's angular. As you can tell, there's multiple angles shooting out of various places. It's got a brushed finish all the way around this watch. I don't think I noticed any polished surfaces anywhere, even on the bracelet, so all brushing all around. You do get a helium escape valve here on the left side of the case, as you can see. I do love how the end links on this bracelet fit to the case. As you can see, they're angled there, these solid end links, and they just hug the case nicely. A really nice fitment that really helps the case just flow right into the bracelet. There's a screw down case back embossed with this unique design here. It looks kind of like an octopus with a trident or something like that. Pretty cool. So you get that screw down case back as well. The crown here is big, and it really fits with the rest of the watch because the whole thing is big. This is a 9mm crown. It's well proportioned to the size of this watch. It really fits perfectly, but you're going to have no problem gripping this crown at 9mm, and it's signed, it's screw down, and it functions just fine. The bezel on this watch is a 120 click unidirectional bezel, and this is a sapphire insert that is here. I think that's the first time that Boldr has done that with this Odyssey line, and it is a loomed dial, and we'll check the loom here in a moment. The action on it is nice. There's no real back play. Everything feels solid, nice ratchet to it. And one of the best parts about it is that everything lines up just perfectly with that bezel. I did find that at some moments my fingers were slipping off, but for the most part, the bezel is pretty easy to grip. So the dial comes in, I think, three or four different colorways. This one is called the Silver Wave, and so you get all these different grays and silver colors going on with this dial, but it's pretty unique. There's almost like little levels that are going on here. You get multiple step downs, so starting with the chapter ring on the outside, that is kind of like the first level. Then you step down to where the indices are applied very nicely, by the way. And then there's another step down to the middle of the dial where you get that grainy sand silver going on in the middle, and you get the printing on the dial there as well. The applied indices really have a nice height to them, and they look really great. They look like they're applied just right as well. You do get a date window at 6 o'clock that is color matched, so it has a gray background, which is really just going the extra mile. I love to see that when brands do things like that. I think it goes really well with the whole colorway of this watch. The handset is large and legible. You're going to have no problem reading this watch. I think even if you used it as a dive watch underwater, I think you should be able to read it. And something interesting to note here about the hour hand is that the way they've done it, if I can adjust it here, it comes so close to those applied indices. I don't know if you can get any closer. You can see as it moves along, it's like right at the same level as those indices. And the precision here, it just doesn't get much closer than that. You see that as it passes by? I think Boldr did a really good job with that. I think the minute hand could have stretched out maybe a little bit farther to that chapter ring, but that's probably more of a nitpicky type thing. This watch is very, very legible. They're using a Swiss Superluminova here. I did not see any information on what grade they're using, but I'm going to shut off the lights and we'll take a look at the lume right now. There it is. I am one who always loves a lumed bezel. I think most people are that way, but perhaps you're not. If you don't like lumed bezels, let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to have a chat with you. But this lume is looking pretty good. Nice, healthy application all over those indices and the hands. Everything is glowing really well. So let's talk about the bracelet really quickly. I think they did a good job on this bracelet. Again, I love how they've fitted the end links to the case. They are solid end links, and you do get quick release spring bars, which is always a plus. It does seem like one of the little nibs is missing over here on this one side, though. I'm not sure what happened to that, but they do come with the quick release, which makes it really nice for changing straps. The bracelet itself articulates really, really well. Happy to see that. There are screw pins here, and you do get a number of micro adjusts. Looks like 6 there on the clasp. And these links are really short in themselves, so with the micro adjusts and the short links, you should really be able to get a good fit on this watch. Nice solid clasp as well. Signed, buckle, fold over, and there you have it. Looking pretty good. Let me jump back in front of the camera and share my final thoughts about this piece. Well, this is one solid and tough diver from Boldr. Ultimately, it's not for me because of its sheer size and my tiny wrists, but I do honestly have to say that I was surprised at how well this hugged my wrist. I don't know what they did, how they shaped the lugs and did the case back, but it really fit well, even though I feel it's too big for me. The fit, finish, and all-around quality of this watch I think are great, which you would expect from a great micro brand like Boldr, and I honestly do like the looks of this watch. It doesn't remind me of any other diver. It has its own unique look and feel, which I think is a great thing. But I want to hear your thoughts about the Boldr Odyssey 45. What do you think about it? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you have a manly enough wrists, a large enough wrist where you would feel comfortable wearing a big chunky watch like this, let me know down in the comments below. Or maybe you have small wrists and you say, I like to wear big watches. Let me know that as well. Thank you for tuning in to this review video today. Really appreciate it. Please show your support by hitting that like button. That really goes a long way. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time here on The Town Watch.